Hello, everyone. Happy St. Patrick's Day to everyone out there. Bringing to you again another Tecmo Super Bowl online game between myself, who selected the Oakland Raiders, versus Timpapi, a player I had not played before this game, as the New York Giants. And this was, again, selected via the matchmaking ROM from Madison. This is a matchup that I don't know that I've ever played in any sort of competitive situation. It might have been a matchup as kids that, I wanted to be this team and so wanted to be that team, but I don't think I've actually played it in any sort of traditional matchmaking. So it seemed interesting when it popped up, and we went with this. What we're going to have here with the Raiders, obviously you've got Bo Jackson. You've got players like Marcus Allen. Sometimes players will sub him out in lieu for a better receiving talent. And then you've got great receiving options with players like Tim Brown, Willie Gault, Sam Grady, if you decide to utilize him. And then you also have Fernandez in there, who's got the great reception stat. The problem with the Raiders oftentimes is Jay Schrader. He just has a little bit of difficulty getting the ball there. He's got a fast delivery, but not a lot of pass control to go with it. And oftentimes, especially when you've got really good man defenders, it can be difficult to squeeze those balls in there, to get in those tight windows without worrying about it getting maybe picked off. So this will be a game of can we be effective in the air, and can we open up the pass game for Bo. And then on the other side, obviously with those great linebackers, he'll be chasing me all over, trying to keep Bo in check with LT. He's got Gary Reasons for coverage options. Really, the entire linebacking core of the Giants is fantastic. And then you've got on his offensive side, he's got the thunder lightning of Anderson and Meggett. Phil Simms, if he's on, very good team with the receiving core that they have available to them. And then, in the event if you're deep on your own end, Sean Landetta, really an untapped resource typically with a high-powered team like this. But if you're inside your own 10, you can literally throw it or you can really punt it to the other side of the field there, and whereas some punters would need to be closer to the 50 to get that kind of result. So definitely an interesting matchup here, and we'll go through it, and we'll see what prevails. So in my playbook here, basically want to make sure I at least have one play going right at LT with the run and shoot playbook there. Also have the dive play, the Pro T dive. Difficult to stop if you don't stop run. Bo can redirect pretty quickly. Wanted to have another dive play in the playbook, and in case he was leaning on some things. And so we do have a play for Marcus Allen in there. On offense here, basically going with Willie Gault and Fernandez, leaving Allen in the game initially, and then I believe I leave Horton in just for blocking sake. A lot of good options. A lot of teams or players will choose putting in even Sam Grady at times just for additional speed on the field, although he only has 19 receptions, so that's kind of a risky proposition. So here we go. Trojan versus Timpapi. Giants defer to the second half. I'll be taking the ball first. And I elected to put Jackson in for the ball control on kick returns. On punt returns, that's a flat 44 ball control for everyone. Here we go. Go with the Pro T right away. Marcus Allen. Stationary target, pretty easy throw. LT dives, we get out of bounds, first down. Go right back to this, and LT gets back, so I don't know if it looked like it was close. It might have been just out of his reach, but if he caught it, would have been a diving grab. Do get that squeezed in play there, but we don't get the separation. That secondary is good, and LT is getting back, so he's doing a real good job, man, controlling. At some point here, I'm like, I need LT out of the way, and he calls it, so didn't want to throw it to LT there again. And he was open there, even with the dive, and just drops the ball. So we've got 3rd and long. And we just go up top. He went down just a little bit, and diving grab, extend the downs here. So at this point, 100% of my run plays have been called, so a little frustrating. Definitely want to be able to run the ball more. And we do finally get a breakaway here, running at LT. Don't know what he was sitting on there, but had enough speed to get away there. And we got a touchdown. So what I'm sensing here is that even though I did get away on this play, like, he's playing it real tight to the vest. Definitely playing good defense. I just got away on that play. And when you got an all-star like Bo Jackson, it doesn't take much to turn something that's, you know, maybe a 5, 6, 7 yard play into a touchdown. Especially that close to the end zone. So here, the challenge that I have is, how do we stop this running game here? All this blocking out front. I decided to go with Townsend initially. Trying to beat that lead blocker down, have some hitting power. So here, I do actually defeat the center, but Anderson blows through there so fast that I can't actually get to him. Get a break here, and there's a fumble. So I recover the fumble. We're near the 50. Go back to pass 2. There was a little bit of a separation there. Actually ran out of bounds a little early there. 3 yards. I'm sure he'll take that every day. Finally get a run 3 opportunity here, and I thought I had a little alley there to cut it back, and actually get stuck on the blocker. So really wasted opportunity there to probably get a first down. And at that point, I was going to throw it up and see what happens, and hopefully it was going to be like a punt. Couldn't get rid of the ball in time, and so as the quarter changed here, I just wanted to make sure that my players were organized appropriately so that in the return game and whatnot, I was ready to go for the next quarter. So Allen went into bad. I wanted to make sure I had some hitting power with LT on the field, so I put Bell in here, and he also went into good. So I just want to make sure that no one got squished with the hitting power of LT, and then Marcus Allen's hitting power going down from condition. I don't want to leave him in the game. Need to make sure that we can still run that dive play. Giants have a pretty good defensive secondary, and the punt return, they move pretty well. I was surprised there he didn't have Otis Anderson in. I think he's realizing his mistake now. He's like, why do I have Meggett in here? Well, I definitely want to get that hitting power. So I'll go to Anderson here because using Townsend just wasn't working, at least initially. And Phil Simms is on, and Baker just blows right by Anderson. I changed directions a little bit, trying to make sure I didn't get behind him, and really wasn't necessary. Baker just blew right on by there. Again, trying to initiate some contact with the running back so that he doesn't try that redirect. Switch it up with Howie Long here. Got a covered catch, so I was in position. But with that interception defense on the defensive line there is just not a great proposition. And he gets another covered catch here, so and if he can get that completion between Sims and his receivers, even in covered situations, and that's working for him, all power to it. That's part of the success formula sometimes when you're in the upper tiers is, I don't care if it's covered, I still need to make a completion, I got to have it, throw the ball, see what happens. So he's tied it up. He's survived a turnover with no points given up. And I'm stuck in my own end near the 10. In the second quarter, ideally we should be able to whittle this down to one possession. Open catch, that surprised me there, throwing to Bell, who is in good condition, stationary, no one near him, doesn't catch the ball. That's frustration playing with Jay Schrader at times. Receivers can be pretty well off. And then that happened, but Fernandez has high reception stats, so I thought there might be more of a separation there, an overrun, or maybe a JJ. Ended up working out. Again, another called run play. I'm getting kind of frustrated at this point. I do turn it into something positive there. Not many players could do that. Maybe Thurman Thomas, maybe Marion Butts, as far as that kind of success against this defense. And I let the ball go just a little late there. Was an opportunity for a potential touchdown. There was a little bit of separation at the bottom. And I just out-juke him. I don't know if he was afraid to tap, thinking I'd get away or what, or maybe just enough leg came to play. I was expecting some contact along the way. Yeah, just tight rope the sideline, and we're in for a touchdown. So, not a terrible first half. Up 14-7. Final seconds of the half will tick away here. I feel like he's still playing really good defense, except for when he doesn't call run, and then I've got some isolation. So he may decide to lean on run calls and force me to throw it through the air, and that's not a bad strategy. The only thing is if Jay Schrader's if he's hitting his routes, obviously it's really hard to get back and stop because you have all that speed on the receiving core. So it's a risky proposition. You try to keep everything in front of you best you can. She has a really good return here after running out of bounds after the first end of the first half there. And I think this is a pivotal moment in the game here because he doesn't have to have that much success to get in the end zone here. And he is just popcorning left and right. So a little bit of risk there, but that close. If for some reason I would get knocked off, or if you juked me out there, the touchdown was on the table there for a little bit. He does a really good job of evading all that traffic in the middle of the field there. With the ball control of the Giants, you can feel confident knowing that you don't have to sit on one particular... you don't have to go to the sideline every time. Same thing goes on kickoff returns. And there I struggled again, thinking that he was going over the line of scrimmage. I got, and he obviously wasn't, but, as I'm looking at it, I don't always see the marker as I'm running around there, trying to keep track of who's running around. And he lets the pass go, and it's a touchdown. So didn't take him much to tie that up. Trading blows here. So he's playing well. He's had some short fields to, after a couple big plays, been able to then kind of nickel and dime it the rest of the way, and he's playing really well on offense. So again, not the success that he's had on the kickoff returns. I'm on my own end. So anyone tells you special teams performance on a team doesn't matter, they haven't played enough Tecmo. So I go back to this just to see if he's. I want him to think about it here, and that was huge because that drone saved probably 30 yards. I had exactly the type of result up to that point of what I wanted in the play. So he's actually calling pass here, which I thought he might try to take away the run. Goes the other way. Calls me back to back, and I feel like at this point I'm having a little trouble stopping him because I don't have good linebackers. His blocking is just tremendous, so I decided to go with a... I don't like to go for it on fourth down on my own end like this, but had the opportunity to just eke out those couple yards in the ground, and we have a first down. Again, Bo Jackson's ball control, feel good keeping it in the field of play there. And I don't know what I was thinking. I felt like, at least initially, he was covered, and then all of a sudden he got on the bottom there. He got behind the drone. Would have been a good opportunity there to just let that thing go. Almost have an opportunity there to maybe get a positive gain out of that. It looked good initially, like I had evaded that initial wave, and then they really honed in. And that's the Giants. Their defense is just so good. And so he's really he's figured me out right now. I don't want to punt this ball, but I really need to. I'm not having the success on the ground that I need to have. He's calling me, I think, at least 50% at this point. I'd have to go back and look at the exact number, but it seems like he knows what running play I'm going to call, and he's actually had a fair number of pass calls as well. So he's calling a really good game on defense, in addition to playing very well. So he's in the driver's seat now after all the entertainment at the beginning there. Again, just getting burned, and we've got Phil Simms is just completing what he needs to complete there. Those receivers are getting down the field. Thought we got back in time, hoping for a jumping opportunity. And the secondary on the Raiders is just not there with some of the other teams at that level. And he's taking advantage of it for sure. He's being patient on the ground, and then he throws it over the top when it makes sense. Really good decision-making on offense. Now, there is Phil Simms. I think maybe it was just the time when he threw that route. I think he was a little early with the redirect in that route. But he has an errant throw. And here is a situation where you want some points on the field here, or points on the board. And he's thinking, what do I want to do? What do I want to do? Taking the lead is a good situation, but if he can get 6, that's another positive development. So what does one do here? Bold decision, goes for it on fourth down. And in this situation, I thought he might go down, and I wanted the extra hitter to clog up things. And I actually stop him. So that was really huge. So that I would almost never take a linebacker. It was situational. Had good coverage there on the field. Just trusted my drones to be just good enough on that play. Risky throw. Pass to not giving me the success I'm hoping for in this playbook here. Again, another called run. Really trying to mix up what I'm selecting, and I'm stuck with third and long. I think for the first time here, I'm calling pass two, and Lawrence Taylor just completely destroys his blocker, and I don't even see him coming. Like, I was looking down the field, and all of a sudden I'm like, what? Was not expecting that to happen. So LT proving his Tecmo dominance and need a little better peripheral vision there to keep a better idea what's happening with the drones there. I thought I was okay. I'm like, all of a sudden I was tackled. Really didn't notice it till it was too late. And I got a defender there, just can't seem to make a play. And the reason that I'm using lineman is because I want extra coverage on the back end, but it doesn't seem to matter. The guy went one free. I was trying to free up Howie Long there by taking out his blocker, and I end up getting popcorn, and he takes it to the end zone. Poor decision on my part, takes advantage of it. Great score. Late score in the game, so this really limits our options. But we do have Bo Jackson. Who knows what could happen here. We also have some high-end receivers that, you know, maybe, just maybe we could get we can get a ball down the field. So my objective here was to try to create an isolation situation. Maybe get loose on him. At this point, I don't feel real good about him chasing me and then trying to complete a pass unabated. He does decide to keep running back. I know I'm running time off the clock. I don't want to get into a grapple and extend that and get out of bounds. I know he's calling pass. He's just running back to make sure that that happens here. Should get an opportunity here, and I didn't know if I was. I might have been able to score there. Looking at that, I regret being that on that side of the 50 with Bo Jackson and with him popcorn on the ground. I think that could have been a score. It could have been close, and I wanted a chance to throw it. Fortunately, calls that play, and so we don't have that opportunity. So. What are your thoughts? You know, that position on the field at the end of the game when I have Bo in the clear. Is that a play where I should have just kept going there? I felt like a heat to the end zone was the right strategy call there. It wouldn't have been about dodging the drones. It would have been about stopping LT from catching up there. Obviously, Bo Jackson, you can zigzag anyone, but interesting to, if I can go back in time and try that, would I've been able to take to the end zone and force an overtime game, assuming that LT doesn't block the extra point. But hey, great game to Timpapi. Definitely a guy that is able to play with high-level teams and get some success. Looking forward to the next time I have a chance to play him. So thanks for watching. If you like content like this, please give this video a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, give it a thumbs down. If you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, if you like this type of thing, go ahead and hit subscribe, and you'll get more of it in the online Tecmo playlist. More games with commentary that we know that you'll enjoy. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time, and happy St. Patrick's Day.